Hello friends and sunflowers, my name is Lena. Welcome to my channel. On Valentine's Day, we got a music video release for Way Home, which was from the Minisode 1 album, and several teaser photos were actually released the day before that as well. Interestingly enough, the music video actually dropped at 12 p.m. Korean Standard Time, not 12 a.m. like the fandom thought it was going to. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. It was called Eye Contact version, which... Is there another version coming? That actually has to do with why I think it dropped at 12 p.m. So I'll talk about that later too. First, let's go over a couple of the more obvious things that we got from both the music video and the pictures. They are in a school, which is nothing new for the Txt'S verse. And if we look at Beomgyu's glasses, these do seem to be the same glasses that he's wearing in the drama music video, so it makes me think it's happening around that time, but I have a bit of a theory on that. My hair is falling out. Wait, hold on. My hair is falling out. Wait. Okay, nice. If we take a look at the teaser photos that were released, we see Big Hit's attention to detail, as always, because even the green of this pencil case and this notebook are the same green as the Sanctuary version of the Magic album. It's that one right there. Funnily enough, for the Sanctuary version, they were in a school during the daytime in that particular album, so that was also the album with Runaway, also taking place in a school. By the way, if you are wondering about the text that is on the teaser images, it is just the lyrics of the song. All of these images were edited by Lame Game Hero on my Discord server, by the way. Come join our Discord server. Over all of the lyrics that they used, all were ones that were specifically referencing things in the TXT universe, which, you know, is my favorite part of just everything. I like stories, what can I say? In fact, out of the entire Minisode 1 album, the song that was the most like TU related, TXT universe related, was Way Home. In fact, originally on Twitter, like back in November or something, I was like, hey, if we get another music video, it's gonna be Way Home because it's the one that's related to the TXT universe. And we did, it just didn't have anything to do with the TXT universe, really. Story-wise, anyway, I thought it was going to be a TU music video. So the song essentially talks about the boys as they're riding home at night, and they note that the sky looks different, which kind of makes me think of Blue Hour. And then them getting like separated and hearing a song and then kind of like reuniting because of that. Basically, they're trying to come together again after being separated. Anyways, so when I saw that this was a Way Home music video and the pictures had like the lyrics that specifically were like referencing what we've seen in the TXT universe, I was so excited. I was like, yes, we're getting the TXT universe music video for Minisode 1 that I didn't think was ever gonna come. We didn't really quite, not only that, but behind Subin in his like teaser photos, there was like this shape, this character. And Lame Game, the same person who did the other photo edits, noted that this was actually the Hanja character for king. So this character specifically means king. And this is not the first time we've seen a reference to a king. So I was like, whoa. By the way, this shape isn't visible in the music video and it's not visible in any of the other shots. And it does seem to be like purposefully put onto the window. So now the king has a lot of ties to the TXT universe, like Crown, but we've actually never seen it tied to Subin before. Usually it's in reference to Yeonjun, because the horns, as we see in the lyrics of Crown, are literally the crown, and he's quite morbidly crowned in the Eternally music video, as I've talked about before. I think that it's there because he has the die. He picks it up at the end of the Eternally music video. People have also pointed out that in the MMA performance this year, Beomgyu actually is playing chess, and he has a chessboard, and he knocks the king chess piece over, which is very interesting. Why does he do that? And then Subin appears having the character for king. Suspicious!
That's kind of sus though.
Now I believe that originally I interpreted this to mean that he was trying to take Yeonjun's place, like he wants to be essentially the kind of person that Yeonjun is, one that everyone loves. If you watch my like drama explained video, I talk about that kind of dynamic there. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Beomgyu's trying to knock over the king, which is Yeonjun, and kind of essentially take his place. However, if we think about it as being Subin, I feel like it ties into the magical aspect at that point, because if Subin is the king because he has the die, Beomgyu is holding onto the book during Eternally for dear life, and that's like a magical book with a magical sigil on it. What are they implying here? Like, is this scene actually hinting at a lot more than what we imagine? In terms of the actual music video itself, instead of just the teaser images, it's relatively simple and straightforward. A nice little Valentine's gift for Moa! Yay! Thank you, TXT. Ugh, I just love them so much. But as always, there are, you know, some things that they tucked in there for us, so let's take a look at them. First is the clock on the wall. Notably, during the entirety of the music video, this clock does not change. It is always the same time, and then at the end we do see that it moves forward in time. The time that the clock is displaying is about 5:53 and a half-ish, and then as they head out, it turns to 5:54. 5:53, as we know, was Blue Hour, and like I said, it might tie into the lyrics of the song as well, and 5:54 is the time that appears on Subin's phone right before it dies in Magic Island, so we can at least chronologically place this music video sometime right before Magic Island, assuming it's reality. So in a way, this is just more of that calm before the chaos, once again, assuming it's reality, and even if it isn't. I was also sent this book on Twitter for this post, which will be linked in the description below, and it is of actually a Japanese light novel called A School Frozen in Time by Mizuki Tsujimura, and it has some striking resemblances to the Txt'S universe. Mainly in the sense of time, 5:53. Generally speaking, this book is about these 7 students, these 7 boys, who they go to their school, but there's no one there, and it turns out that there were actually 8 boys. I'm not going to go into anything deeper than that. This does have some darker themes, and it is considered like a psychological horror kind of book. Anyways, in this book, the time that the school is frozen at is 5:53, which, as we all know, is also the time that they're frozen in, or that they keep going back to in the TXT universe. And we actually do see like a 6th empty desk in the teaser photos, so originally I was like, oh wow, wait, hold on, is there actually someone missing? There might be, but I do want to say that in the music video, like, the whole class is missing. It's not just one person. Doesn't mean it's not true though, but it does make me wonder if the ghosts are tied into them at any point, because we see several ghosts and one of them is even wearing a school uniform like we see in Magic Island, so yeah, I'm interested to see if the book has anything to do with it or not. I do think it's possible they took some inspiration from it, so it'll be interesting to see what they take from that and then what they end up adding and changing. As the boys are leaving at the end of the music video, we see several other things. First of all, this photo, it is a famous school in Korea. It's been filmed, there's been plenty of groups that have filmed there, namely G-Friend and Ruff, I believe, is the exact same school. I do think they want us to see this school. I'm not sure why, but it's centered in the frame pretty much. Like, you can't not see it because the boys, like, they want us to see this photo of this school. So it's like in the middle of the shot. Okay, anyway. Along the walls of the hallway as they are walking out, we see several things. First is a grandfather clock, once again tying them to that aspect and like idea of time specifically. It's very present in the Txt'S universe and in their stories and in their music videos, obviously. We literally got a close-up of the clock, so I mean. But then here it is again, another clock. Also, a lot of people have seen this banner running along the top of the wall and have asked what it says. Actually, Julia over on Twitter translated it for me, and they said it says, "It is a pleasure for a gentleman to get the education of the world's talent." So basically, this is pretty standard school affair, I think. That's pretty, like, I could see that. However, it does say gentlemen, which makes me think it's a boys-only school, which does not match up with what we saw in Runaway, because there was definitely a mixed school. Not sure how to feel about that. And then there's also a mirror here, which makes me think of this VCR, where they kind of look into the mirror and then they're on the train to Magic Island in the VCR. So I wonder if that ties us to the idea of Magic Island again. And once again, this is making me think, is this actually reality, or is this a dream that they're having on Magic Island? Remember the last time we saw them on Magic Island? This whole music video itself is just happy and cute and fun and just like nice. You get to see them singing and being all cute and stuff. And it does feel kind of like a dream. And I do want to say, we did just have the Japanese album release called Still Dreaming. They're still passed out on the ground in Magic Island and still dreaming, I guess. Like, is this them, like, going back in their heads, like, when they have that time that's frozen? Because remember, that's what they like to do. They like to go back in time to re-experience it every time. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, it makes me wonder if they're dreaming about this time that they had together right before it turned to 554. Which brings me to the thing that I wanted to talk about the most. Going back, reversing, rewinding, if you will. Why did this version come out as the eye contact version first? Is this really the only version that we're going to be seeing? After all, like, if this was the only version of the music video they were going to get, why would they have to specify, like, this is the eye contact version? Usually for, like, this kind of thing, they will release, like, the music video first, and then they'll have, like, another version or another version. So, like, the choreography version, the eye contact version. Those will come out after the music video, but then you still have, like, the base music video. To me, this kind of feels like there has to be another version of, like, if they specify that this is one type of version, we should be expecting another version. I'm a little scared to say that, though. This is the only track on the album that has to do with the Txt universe. Why did they choose this one for their Valentine's Day release?
That's kind of sus, though.
Also, as I mentioned, it dropped at a really weird time. Okay, everyone was like trending a hashtag at midnight, KST on Twitter, and it did not drop. So they're like, oh, it must be 6 p.m. because that's usually the other time that things are dropped. But nope, they dropped it the opposite of 12 a.m. KST at 12 p.m. KST. Now, I don't think it's like completely unusual for music videos in general to drop at 12 p.m. KST, but it is weird for big hit. Plus, it's once again the opposite, the flip. Sort of also how like they released the eye contact version first, and how there was a mirror in the hallway, and like I always say, Magic Island mirrors things back to you, and that when they first got to Magic Island in that VCR, it was through a mirror. And I've mentioned this time and time again, that we are part of the Txt universe and they want to include us. Like, even the like logo for the Txt universe says plus you. Plus you. Us. What better way to get us to actually experience this than releasing it in reverse? I don't know, if they actually do this, I'm sorry, but that's genius. If this is the case, there's actually another music video that will drop at some point, questionably in the future, then they will be literally reversing their releases just the way that Txt reverses time. Anyways, yeah, that's it. That's my big theory. Woo! There's another music video, probably. Yeah. I'm gonna add probably, like with an asterisk. You guys aren't like, Lena said there's another music video, and then it never comes out, and I'm just like, haha, clown nose. Do I know what's in this other music video? No. There might be bikes. There might be the sky darkening. It might be Blue Hour 2.0. It's also possible that they're just like, hey, let's try to market it as an eye contact version because it's Valentine's Day, and it has nothing to do with anything, and I'm just reading way too into it. If there is actually another music video, I am excitedly waiting for it. If there isn't, I'm still excitedly waiting for their next release because I know it's going to be probably about the Chaos chapter. Honestly, there's no losing with Txt. There's none. Like, you cannot lose. But yes, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you are subscribed with notifications turned on so that you're notified every single time that I post a video. All of my social media is linked in the description below, as well as my Discord. Huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon: Rally Car, Alicia S, Lame Game Hero, Maria Pena, Savage 96er, Amanda Strickland, Shirley, and of course, Jade. Thank you guys so much for your support. As it is, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay sunny. Bye!